Call meeting to order, Whately Board of Assessors. February 18th, 2026 at 3 p.m. First, several items on the agenda. First is review and vote on meeting minutes from the previous meetings. As the previous meeting was a week ago, February 5th. We don't have minutes to approve. At that meeting, RRG was taking minutes. Has been taking a minutes of meetings for us, so just wait for them to submit the minutes. And we do review the minutes of the meeting, the three of us during the meeting, and lately, I guess we've been initially they're signing off, so. I assume they're going to whoever gets them here in the town to post them on the website. So. Okay. Next item does anybody else have anything else to say about the minutes? Briefs?
I don't.
Okay. Saying no, okay. Next item to review and discuss the board assessors procedural schedule cycle. I guess what this gets into is the activities the board is doing. And I guess what activities that our consultant RRG is doing for the board. The big item that they have successfully done is a tax classification hearing. Setting up the tax rate, getting all the analysis and data done to set up a tax rate which was approved by DOR, and the tax bills went out in December. So that part has been done successfully. The bills have been going out. The next steps, I guess, we were involved. This board was involved in that process, looking at the overall process, not individual activities involved in it necessarily, but the next step is to while they process abatements that the town receives for real estate, personal property, motor vehicle abatements. So we've been processing them every meeting, usually that we meet once a month. What's happening next? I guess we're kind of waiting to hear what their. Well, two things. One is schedule for addressing the abatements, real estate property abatements, and the property inspections coming up in the next several months. It's kind of we're waiting to hear their process, procedure, and how and who's going to be doing that. So,
Could I say something with regards to procedures?
Sure.
I think I've brought this up in the past, but I want to bring it up again. I don't see where we're behind, and I don't see where this board is derelict in their duties to the taxpayer of this town. And while we've had less than perfect communications with RRG, I don't see them not doing their job. So that's really the question I want to ask the board is, do you feel we are effectively doing the job right now with RRG as our partner? There is one caveat to that. They have not done the 10-year list, and that is part of their contract. But other than that, I'm tired of fighting RRG, to be honest with you, because I don't see where they were derelict in their duties, and I don't see where we are derelict in our duty. Yes, we have push and shove, of course, but it's, in my opinion, this board is, it's been painful because we started off rough with RRG and the first person, and now David Burgess is retired, and now we got Derek, and now we have just not a perfect combination going on here. So I guess I want to ask the board, are we derelict in our duties, or are we on track, and I'm looking at the February calendar here, which says there's some things we have to start looking for. So that would be my question to the board.
Okay, James?
So I feel that the cyclical inspections fell apart
Yes.
because those were supposed to happen through the summer and the fall, I believe.
They've yet to do it.
And the list was very long, so I'm questioning, because I'm new, if the cyclical inspections had not been maintained. Because when I looked at that list that they gave us, it was very long and there were some properties that hadn't been visited for many years. And I don't know if they were just land properties or not. But I do have some concerns about that and why that fell apart. My other concern is, I wish the communication between RRG and us was better. I look at an abatement from last year, which I believe has not been fully
It's not been addressed still.
taken in full, completed. And I wish once a month that they would give us a little update on what they're working on our calendar and what progress has been made. I feel in the dark a lot. And Derek has been working so hard since he came on board, trying to clean up and catch up, that I hesitate to ask questions because I feel that I don't want to be confrontational because I have a slight idea of what he's dealing with. But I would like to see an improvement in communication.
Okay, me too. And before that, but again, that would be somewhat normal to any relationship we had with anybody, even the general public. But I agree, Jane. I think the communication could be better. But I'm not sure this board has helped in that process. I think we acted in a way that has not made them want to communicate with us. I could be wrong. But whatever it is, we should be able to solve the problem.
Right, I mean, if there was better communications, perhaps some of the
Would be
things
here, yeah.
would not have appeared.
I would agree with that.
Um,
With that being said, is there any other derelict, is there any other area that we're not doing that we should be doing? To make sure that we do our job and that the taxpayer is properly served in this community? Is there any other areas that you can see that, I'm not sure I can, but that's why I'm asking the
You've
question.
been accused of being derelict?
No, I want to know that this board feels comfortable that we're doing the right thing, and if we're not, let's tell us, get it out now. That's really what I'm saying, because if we're doing the right thing and RRG is working with us, why are we so mad at them all the time? And I think perhaps it's because of the communication. It's less than it could be, but it's not horrible.
You know, is there a way for us to be able to send them questions that we have? I mean, I've been sort of made to feel if you ask a question, that then you're micromanaging. And who are you to ask us a question? I mean, we had a list of 5 or 6 things that we wanted some clarification on. And then when we met last time in executive session, we backed it down to 1. I still would like answers on all those other 4.
And I'd like to go there on the one we asked, if I could right now, but I want to make sure before
No,
I go there.
I don't think this is the place on the agenda for it.
Oh, gotcha, okay, but that's fine, but other than the communication issues. I don't think RRG's done a bad job.
The communication to me kind of goes back to trying to, we try to communicate with them by asking questions on how they do things to get a better understanding, this board to understand, not to question, to find fault with what they're doing. And they, a lot of times, give immediate answers that aren't complete. And some of that is our questions are noted in the minutes of the meetings that we ask questions or say, we talked about this. And it will either be tabled or talked at a future event, future meeting. Well, sometimes that goes on for 2 or 3 meetings and we still don't get an answer, or we ask them again and say, well, yeah, we gave you the answer 2 months ago, but you didn't really, you gave an answer, but didn't explain it. I mean,
Well,
so I guess even going back to the classification here, it's you know, we kind of let them do their thing because they're used to doing that. And for us to try to understand why they did certain things, we should have been asking that in October and November before the process was finalized. And for whatever reason came about, the meetings never occurred to do that before the public hearing on it. And now to go back and ask them again, we still have some concerns of how they did some things. And it's like, well, that's already, that's what we call it, water over the dam. It's already been done. So why are you questioning what we do? Well, there's some things that, like I say, I want to understand how and why they did it and show us what you did rather than say, oh, we did it because we've been doing it for 35 other communities and that's the way we do it.
I didn't get that impression.
That's, and if they told us, if they gave an explanation and showed us how they did it, showed us the data, showed us the calculations. One time, I'm not asking every year to do this or every meeting to do it. They show it one time, how did you do this? Then they explained how the board can understand how they did it. Then I think we would accept that. But we don't get that kind of, I guess, I call it detailed explanation of how and why they did things. Yeah, they're the experts on it, fine.
So can I ask the chair where on the agenda we're supposed to be talking about issues that we have with RRG?
Well,
I might have brought it up, my apologies.
well, okay, we're talking.
And that this might be an issue with the Board of Assessors that you do not stay on task.
Well, okay,
So can I rein you back in?
yes,
Yes.
okay,
Because I have all of 45 minutes left.
okay,
And if you want assistance
Yes, we
okay,
to better communicate and better organize yourself, let's stay on task.
okay.
Okay, so the point that we're talking about is the procedural schedule cycle.
Right. okay.
Rather than talking about, let's first talk about what are your typical areas or tasks that you have to do throughout the calendar year, not who's responsible to do what. Let's not get down, let's first talk about, we have to do abatements in the spring, or we have to do X in the
Right.
fall. Let's start there and work our way down so we can come to a consensus on what those items are, and then we can figure out whose responsibility it is to do what.
Okay,
Would that work?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. When I saw BOA procedures, I thought it meant also RRG.
No. I'm referring to what the typical procedures and requirements are for
Understood.
any board of assessor
Right.
in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
What are the responsibilities that you
Right.
have to do throughout a calendar year or a fiscal
Right.
year?
It's right here on this, that's right here on the schedule.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But, I mean, it's right here, third quarter tax payments due, deadline for filing abatements is done. Mail income expense, income and expense survey prepares town, it's just all right here, LA.
So is that annual or a month?
This is RRG gave us this because we asked for a assessor's calendar.
Yeah.
To keep up.
Is that the annual calendar?
It is.
Okay, so it's not just February, okay.
Well, yeah, January, February, it's all here. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Every month is here.
all 12 months
All
are there,
12
okay.
months.
And so with that breakdown, nice, what that looks like.
Yes, I hear
I
you.
don't even know if some of these are, Peter.
It's
Bring that,
February is the, yeah, you should have it right there.
you know, you get into. Mike start talking about communication.
Well, let's
That's fine.
let's
We'll
review.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
We'll move on.
Move on.
Okay,
You looking at February, Peter?
Well, no, I don't wanna focus on 1 month. I just wanna look at, so you do have a schedule.
Yes, we do. We did
Okay.
request this.
And with this schedule that you were provided, did you talk through with RRG to make determination of what they do in that process and then what the Board of Assessors responsibility is?
We haven't.
Okay, so that would be like the next step, right? So that you understand if begin annual real estate and personal property abatement period, what does that mean? Or like, is there an action there and who's taking the action? That would help you guys to understand the lines, right? Because I think that's where a lot of the confusion has been coming up is whose responsibility is what? Because then you step on each other's toes, meaning the board steps on RRGs or the RRG steps on the boards, so not one, I don't.
Understood.
So if you are able to figure out. With this list, which is great, it definitely helps set you up, determine. Is there something that the board needs to be taking action on? That way you can say, hey, at the end of January, we're gonna have to do this, RRG. Did you prepare us so that we can do X? Or RRG, do you need something from us in order to do something? But you, right now, it's hard to tell who's responsible for what, right?
We've never had that kind of discussion and I guess you haven't.
Regardless of whether you have or haven't, what I'm saying is moving forward, the next thing to do would be can you have them clarify?
Start each meeting with, where are we on this list?
Exactly.
What do we need to do to help?
Yes,
I think that would be a great idea. I like that a lot.
Almost like that should be an agenda item every month.
yes.
Yeah. But
Reference to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
list and
Yeah.
And it's just-
we on the list.
It's not you guys holding RRG accountable, it's each body holding each other accountable. They're holding you accountable, and you're holding them, and that way it doesn't come off as like, you know, micromanaging or even, you know, calling somebody out for not doing something. It's just making sure that everybody's doing
on the same
their
page.
step. Exactly.
I like that a lot. Wish I thought of it earlier.
I just wanna make sure that we don't, you know, even though RRG is not an employee.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have a conversation where we're criticizing somebody if they don't have the opportunity to be here. That's why I wanna kind of steer us away from that. And try to focus on what we can do, what you can do. And that way, hopefully, like you talked about, the communication kind of start rebuilding or setting a proper path.
But you did kind of set us on the correct communication path, but it wasn't home until very recently we started putting it into an email, so. So saying it at each meeting,
Yes,
just one by the way.
but yeah, I think to your point, an agenda item.
Yeah.
That would be a regular agenda item to review the schedule and responsibilities.
Okay, before we move on, could I ask somebody to take some brief minutes of the meeting here?
You better than me, Jane, I'm terrible at minutes.
Take some brief minutes, send it on the record.
Thankfully, it is being transcribed too, so.
Right.
Oh, it is,
Yeah, it Zoom with the word Zoom does a transcript.
it does.
And it doesn't necessarily know that, Mike said X, it just, you know,
Are you able to print out the transcription for me that I could use to write up some? And if it's legal to email it to me?
I can, yes, yep.
Okay, and then I can do something.
Okay, great.
Okay, just move on. Next one was the abatement request procedures. We've got some property, real property abatement procedures that they're working on, and I guess the process I hear them proposing or discussing is they're going to resolve all the requests with the property owner directly or through inspections, and then bring a recommendation to the board. Which I guess they did that last year they did that, only the board was involved in some of the review of the individual properties. This year, they're not proposing it.
Oh, that I've read last year, it was pretty involved. We actually wrote the abatement letter.
Yeah,
So
they go with each property that asked to abate. This year, there's one still pending from last year, plus there's some new ones this year, and you know, that's what they're proposing. I guess I'm not comfortable with that for some of the requests, some of the abatement requests. Some are gonna be kind of straightforward. And there's a few that require further investigation, whether in office or inspections. I guess for them to do all that and come to the board, since the board has reviewed these in the past. Some within the last year or two even. And for outside agency to come in and do them. I guess I don't feel comfortable just blindly accepting what they're saying, I guess.
Well, why don't we simply have them give us a copy of the abatement, which I think they did.
Well, they made
They
it
give us-
available, they made it available.
Make them available,
They did.
do your thing, report to us. I'd be okay with that.
Okay, but do you wanna go make inspections on some of them
No,
that
they're the experts.
we've done in the past?
They're, in my opinion, they do this 24/7. We do this occasionally. They're more expert to do this type of things while you're paying them. We're just all subjective and I've been in a lot of places because of my real estate background. But if we wanted a real person to do inspections, hire a building person would know these things. I mean, I can see good, bad, ugly, but these guys do this all the time. I'm more than comfortable with them doing the inspections.
I think it makes sense for the board to re-review and do an inspection only if you have an issue with or a concern on what they report back to you.
So,
And it can't be the entire list just because you wanna go and nitpick and be present at every property.
Right.
If there is when they come back with the abatement and they say, this is what we found and this is the reason why. And then you say, oh, well, actually, I saw there was a building permit pulled for this, so why didn't you take that into consideration? Or that's where you find an error, but I don't think that you should have to go and do double the work.
Well, it's doing jointly with them, I guess. We can have.
No,
I don't like that.
It's not necessary. Why have RRG then?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let them do it and make a recommendation to us, and if we
Yes.
accept it, it's done. If not, we can
Yeah, absolutely.
discuss further.
Or we can have questions for them, but
And it's not that you have to accept it.
we don't have to accept that.
You're being brought the information and you make the determination as a board whether or not you agree with it or not. But it's not like you have to.
Right, okay, but there's been one that's,
I know, let's not rehash.
I know, but we haven't resolved that, and I don't know where it's going, but
It's going to ask for it, but understood,
we'll talk about that later.
yes.
so will they give us a written document? Property A, we inspected it, this is our recommendation because of A, B, C, D.
Well, it'll be on the abatement form. And usually they answer there, or they should answer in some sort of verbiage that we can follow.
Yeah,
When the abatement form, if we deny it, isn't there a place for us to say why we denied it?
yes,
But they shouldn't be filling out the
Not
abatement
until
form
we review it, yeah.
until we've had a chance to
Right.
review it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I just feel that there needs to be some documentation from RRG. This is our recommendation to you because of X, Y, Z.
And I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
You need to communicate that though to them and say, during the abatement process, when you do the inspections, this is what we want you to come back with.
yeah,
Needs to have the
Yeah.
property listing, whatever the details are. But if you clearly outline for them, this is what we expect when you come back to us, it's so that we can then fill out that abatement form,
Mhm.
then they know they're not caught off guard.
No,
But I think you absolutely should ask them for that.
we've got recommendations, but nothing in writing or nothing formally in writing that we can look at a file and say, okay, this is why. It's all been, a lot of it verbal, we accept what they're saying, but nothing documented.
so we're tweaking the system a bit, so
Yeah.
we get it documented.
Yeah, okay.
So do we communicate that to Derek or to David Manzello?
Derek, but you can copy David, but Derek is your assistant assessor, so that's who you
Okay.
communicate your requests to.
Okay,
Yeah,
so as that document's being formatted, we can't send that back and forth between us via email because that's a violation
that's a
of.
violation. He fills it out and sends it to the three of you.
No, what I mean, when we're trying to write up the verbiage, the language for what we're asking for
You
our.
couldn't do that as a group. that's too many cooks in the kitchen, one of you should just be tasked with it. That's it. Letting you can work with me, that's fine, but not, the three of you do not need to have your fingers in the format of that report.
No, I'm not talking about the,
Oh, what are you referring to then?
well, I guess I was talking about I mean, how do we figure out what the document looks like, or maybe what we say to them? I mean.
If you've gotta be of a mindset where you have to have that, then you set another meeting. You task one of you to do it, whoever wants to do it, drafts it together, and then at the next meeting, you go and say, okay, this is what I put together. Is this what we're okay with? If so, then let's send it, or not now in meeting, let's go and edit it. That's what you could do. I'm not sure why it needs to be done as a group effort. It could just be one person.
I think we've let them do that and either agree or edit it and they finalize it and send it out, process it, whatever.
But
I think what Jean's getting at is she's trying to make sure that what you're telling them you want to be provided to get from them in a report is inclusive of what the whole board wants. Is that right?
Yes,
Right.
and I don't want to be the one to write it.
That's fine. I can tell that you don't want to. My point is your fear of doing it is not what should dictate that it has to be a group effort.
Okay,
It should not be a group effort,
Okay.
because all that's gonna do is slow you down. Somebody who knows abatements or whatever that is, Fred, you can work with me on it, like, it doesn't matter, but it does not have to be a group effort, so
okay,
don't worry about doing that. I think you can put it together and then at the next meeting, go and say, okay, here's what whoever put it together suggests. If the board agrees, great, move forward. Tell RRG, this is what we want you to do. Here's the form to use going forward.
I've had a great rapport with RRG. I've talked to Manzello personally. I don't know if I should have done that in the past. I haven't recently because I thought that might have been outside my bounds. It's a while since I've spoken to him. Guess what I'm saying is, I'd love to be the go-to person.
pardon me?
I'd love to be the go-to person because I have a very good rapport with the RRG, with David, with Derek, with David Manzello, Derek, David Burgess.
I'm confused though, what are we actually gonna tell them, what Jane is referring to, it's telling them in the report what we wanna see when they analyze an abatement request?
Yeah, when they're coming back with the information so that they make the determination to fill out that form.
Okay, but each abatement is gonna kind of be different,
Correct.
You're not gonna grab all.
Right.
so.
No, but you're telling them. We wanna know the property, we wanna know the request rationale, whatever it is, I don't know the abatement process, so I don't wanna, but you, like, if you just give.
To me, that's kind of micromanaging what we
Oh,
want.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not micromanaging, because that's preparing them so that you're prepared.
But they should know that on their own, how to do that without us telling them.
If right now we're trying to correct communication, correct?
All right,
And the communication has not worked. Therefore, I'm suggesting that you do this so you make clear to them what you're expecting in the communication so that you can do things and not criticize whether you think that they're doing it right or wrong. It's just setting up a clear communication. It's not micromanaging because you're not getting where you want.
okay, so we need to look at okay, say the 6 requests they got now for abatements. We need to look at each one and say, okay, for number
No.
one here.
We
No,
know that. We
no.
know that.
It's void of a specific abatement.
Okay, in general, okay.
It's general, you're telling them what the general format of what you want coming back to you.
If I could,
Okay,
like,
we kind of done some of that even, Jane, you worked a lot on that questionnaire or form, whatever, for
right, yeah,
visiting property. That form that listed all the stuff that we wanted to,
and we gotta.
we
talk
asked the
about-
property owner to verify
Oh, sorry.
when we went to their home, I don't have with me, the number of rules improvements you did and all this other stuff. That. We wanted that to go out to the property owner before we made any visit or any communication.
But that's That's not abatement. This is
No,
only for
but that could-
abatements.
But that can be the, similar to that, I guess, if we want.
I can give you a perfect example. The last thing we've decided on is could our RG show us how you came up with land values, East Whately and West Whately. And I know the answers to those questions. I brought all these reports. However, that's really what we're referring to. Just go back and say, how'd you come up with these numbers? That was one of the things that it might be a little minutia, but I'm sure they have the numbers. I know the reasons. I've already done reports. So do we need to bother them with how? And I know the answers, and I'm not gonna go into that discussion right now.
You're picking certain items in property card that you know the answers for and others we don't.
Understood. To your point, I like Peter's idea. Let's have one person be the go-to. And then,
But at what point do you do that? When they come back to us with a recommendation to say, okay, now did you look at this, and this?
yes, when they come back with their recommendations, you still have questions.
You can
At
still
that
ask the
point.
question.
Then it should be, I guess, the whole board looking at their recommendation.
Well, we are.
We're not saying that, yeah.
Well, no, you're saying one person.
Right, you're not listening. No, you're not listening.
Okay,
You're not
One
listening because you're
person.
thinking about a specific abatement
well,
request on property X. I'm saying, don't worry about the property X abatement request right now.
yeah,
Just create the structure of what you want them to report back in general on
Okay.
any abatement that they're reviewing.
okay, we can.
That's what a form is,
Okay.
right?
We could tell them that today and further.
Can we? Because I haven't heard any of the details of what you would include on that request.
No,
We haven't
no.
discussed. That's why I'm saying.
Right now, but we could tell them today, and if it takes them 2 months, well, they've got 30.
Don't worry about
90
that.
days.
Don't worry about
It's
that.
up to
As long
them.
as we've got it.
I wanna see you do something, Fred.
Hmm.
Don't keep talking about what RG is gonna do or wait 2 months to do. Let's see what Fred's gonna do. So can you put together that list of the things that typically need to be reported back in an abatement request?
I don't wanna jump.
Because that's
We can
the
come up
structure
with
that we
some-
need.
We haven't done that in writing, and I don't.
Right.
Seen it in
That's-
writing.
that's
And
part of the
I'm
problem.
not saying that you have or haven't, I'm saying, let's do that. I don't know why you keep looking backwards.
No.
We're talking about what we need to do now going forward.
Yeah.
So put that together.
So again,
Okay.
if you
And
wanna be
work with
clear
me
here.
and I'll help you format it
Yes.
and clarify the language or whatever it might be. But you're just creating the format for that.
Okay, well, that's why I was referring to this other form that we tried for inspection.
Yeah, but Jane pointed out that that's a different process. That's for your, like, your
Right.
inspections and your appraisal.
No, be clear here.
Assessment.
We're not gonna send them something on what we expect on abatements now. It's too late. We're going to review what they recommended and make determinations as to
Why are they like near the end of the abatement
Well,
review
they-
cycle?
abatements had to come in by, is it January 2nd? I'm sorry, February 2nd.
Yeah, say February 2nd, yeah.
So they're working on them now.
Right,
I guess we could go forward with, while you're working on them and you make a decision, we would like.
I think they should.
We could
I
do
think
that.
you should have them.
Yeah. we could do that.
Yeah, because if they're in the middle of the process,
Yeah,
get them now in that mindset of how to put that
Okay.
information together and present it to you.
I didn't want to put their cart in front of them first.
yeah, I don't think they've done very much on it so far, so. And they gave us a time period, they had until May to finalize.
Well, they
Yeah,
have
so
30
there's-
days.
So-
Yeah.
so
Yeah, there's plenty of time, yeah.
Well, that's the.
So,
abatement
in an email from Derek from February 13th, he said, I am reviewing the Whately applications with our RG.
And he gave us a schedule.
And will plan to start inspections on Thursday in 2 to 3 weeks. I will update the Board of Assessors members as the timeline unfolds. And we are third because he said Conway's deadline is March 17th, Luffert's is March 29th, and Whately's is May 2nd, based
Right.
on when the abatement applications are due.
Right.
So
So
he's given
So
us.
there is
the answer.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
so we could respond
I
when you
don't
do,
usually put
yeah.
my phone on, but I thought that.
Oh.
So Fred, are you willing to put in some time with Peter and figure out the wording of that document that we will give to RRG that will explain when they give us their opinion on an abatement, accept or deny, what are their reasons for their recommendation?
If we have a question.
Okay.
No, they need to
Before, I'm
explain their
sorry.
reasoning
I'm sorry. Yeah.
before we
Understood.
can have a question.
Understood. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And then that form can actually then be used by RRG to generate the
Over and over
letter
again, yeah.
that goes out to the homeowner.
What's the letter?
What?
What's the letter that goes?
There's a letter that gets sent. They
Like
worked
a
on them last year. about-
Decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of,
okay.
kind of.
And I don't know in that letter if you go into the
I did.
reasons, but
I
it's
did.
like. Want to know, we should have our reasons pretty sound in
Yes.
case they go to the appellate court.
Yeah.
Yes, I did the same thing. I pointed out reasons, tried to keep it simple. The house used to be an A, it's now a C because of neglect, or it's a C now. Yeah, I went through those, yes.
Okay,
I was kind of going over that
so
card and deciding what's critical for us to know. The grade, condition. Improvements made. What's different?
Say that again. What we
I
need
mean,
to know on the card?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're asking. Look at the property card and say, okay, what do you want RRG to verify for us? The grade, the condition, number of bathrooms,
That
square
plays into
footage,
the
maybe.
abatement.
Yeah, abatement, I mean.
I thought they
that-
did though, when they give us a response.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, what exactly you want to ask them specifically to report on.
How they came up with their conclusion.
I mean, you wanna be that specific? Tell us each one of these 10 different items, what is changed, or what you're making,
How did they
recommend
come up with this decision?
changing?
That's
Yeah,
what we need to
I
do.
think Mike's on it, not you. Mike's on the right path.
Or,
All you need is you say, okay, whenever you're doing an abatement review. Outline the reasons for either granting or whatever your decisions are, just outline them.
Sure. Which I'm almost positive
okay.
they do, I could be wrong, Fred. You're getting into the nitty gritty
Yeah,
of the
you
property card.
Well, right, but,
It's not necessary,
no, but what you're
like
asking,
Mike's
I
on the
just,
right path.
we could do that, but, if you suggest, but I'm not convinced there any benefit to that. It's like telling them, well,
There is, because you keep asking, well, why did they come to this? And that's why you're having them preemptively let you know why they came to their decision.
And the benefit is if a taxpayer comes in and wants to talk to us about it and say, yeah, we did review this with our RG. This is what they came up with, and we agree or disagree. All of those codings on the card, they're going to just key in on the ones that made the decision to
Yeah.
abate or not.
right,
They're not gonna go, it was because the house is at B and now it's at A, oh, by the way, there's 2,000 squares and we thought this wasn't important. They're gonna concentrate right on what they thought was the reason for the abatement or lack thereof.
well, I assume they would give us that support. Documentation for it, just don't say we changed the grade.
But no, again, we're just setting the parameters for how we wanna review these abatements once they're done with them. We're also sending them some sort of parameter list as to what we're hoping to see before we get. So we're just not getting into the nitty gritty of how and why, where, and
Okay.
in my mind. Because then we get lost.
Yeah.
Look at this property over
Yeah,
here,
right.
this doesn't make sense, we got all these other properties, but this property, and then we're stuck on one property, doesn't make sense. It's just my opinion. You're not okay, Fred, are you? You're not
I'm not
okay.
convinced.
Excuse me, he's not convinced, that's okay.
Uh,
Why don't we start with the procedure and then determine how convinced we are or not? We can always tweak the procedure. We don't get what we want, or it's not going well.
okay, so what you're looking at is really our role in maybe their role in the abatement process, what are they gonna provide to us? what you're asking.
Yep,
Well, yes,
yeah,
yes. What is it? Yeah, we just. I just don't think picking one part of a large abatement and sticking on it is the right way to go. They've made a decision based on their knowledge of what they do. And they're more knowledgeable than us, in my opinion, with regards to that. I know, Fred, you've been on the board years and years and years, and I have a great deal of respect for you. But these guys do this all the time. So I have to
Okay,
know that their opinion might be important, is important.
Their opinion is important, but they need to be able to share their knowledge that's behind their opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the bottom line is the buck stops with us, doesn't stop with the LRG. So we're the ones who have to review and make decisions based on, what we see and what our partner's trying to help us with.
okay. Okay, I'll try to put something in.
No, okay, very good.
So do you, two board members want to see this, or how you want to proceed with this?
you'll work with me on it,
Yeah.
and then you can bring it back to your board at your next meeting.
Okay,
That way you won't be breaking any open meeting laws.
okay.
We have a meeting scheduled for next Thursday.
Proposed, doesn't schedule.
Okay, well, I have it in my notes from last time that
Right.
the next meeting was 2/26 from 3 to 5 p.m.
Right, but I haven't informed Derek of that. I don't know his schedule, so we're waiting to see after today what we were doing.
Oh, because I was gonna say, if you could get with Peter to work on that, and then we had a meeting next week, then we can
Yeah.
present it to us, and
Okay,
I think we need to meet next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
okay,
Derek,
okay,
RRG will be here.
yeah. Okay, so we all set with that, for our office files and document maintenance. I think I mentioned to him last time about obtaining the office, the maps in there and a printed record of assessments. Property and personal property. And I guess they were gonna consider doing that. I guess it's been over a year since it's been updated, so.
they were gonna do, what was that?
We like to have, it's not printed copies of all the abatement, printed copy of the property assessments. In a file, it's
Oh,
called
print-
street listing,
Oh,
street listing.
Street list.
It's in there, you can see it, it was done last year. It is available online
Right.
for people that wanna look at it.
Oh, is it the file that we have on the Board of Assessor page?
Where it
Okay,
says a
yeah.
page that, but it's also grouped by residential, commercial, industrial, personal property. And then that's grouped, that's alphabetically plus by, property code numbers. And then there's also maps in there that have been thrown on the counters that need to be organized somehow.
It's that document that's like, what is this, 33 pages? That's the
Yeah,
one you're
something
referring
It's
to.
about
Yeah.
that many. It
Yeah.
shows every value in town.
So are you saying that you want these like printed out and put in a binder?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
We mentioned it last time and Derek made note of it. Let's
So
see.
that's called the street assessment.
it's called the owner
Street
listing.
list.
Owner.
It's the owner, it's the title on the document actually says owner listing.
Just asking for the minutes.
No, yeah, I just wanna make sure that it is the same as
So
what.
own listing, and there also are maps that need to be printed.
No, they are printed, they just need to be organized.
Okay.
I have updated, whatever, so. Okay. Yeah,
And
office files, the thing, I guess. Or I guess have been used to is the emails that come into the assessor's office. I guess only right now Derek has access to them. I don't see them. I don't know if I had a password or email address to get into them, but we're not getting any emails from any other communities around from Franklin County Assessors Association orders, also Massachusetts MAAO, Association of Assessing Officials. They have meetings periodically, updates to different legislation, different things. We're getting absolutely nothing on that in the last 2 years.
Okay, so rather than saying what we're not getting, I think what you're saying is what you would like Derek to do going forward is to forward any emails that come from these associations to the 3 board members, is that correct?
Yes,
That's a clear directive that you can go and share with them so that you don't need a password into the account, because I don't think that's a good idea having multiple people accessing an account. All you have to do is just tell him, whenever you receive these type of emails, please forward to the 3 of us.
okay, or even emails from you, a lot of times we don't see them until you remind us, hey, we asked for it last week, where is it?
So Fred, can you name those specific emails again so I can put them in the
For the
minutes?
specific.
Okay, there's it's MAAO, Mass Association of Assessing Officials. The statewide organization that we are. One of us is a member of, we have paid dues, and I think I was the only member because there was a dues amount with that. Well, I'm not sure if it's that one or the other one is the Franklin County Assessors Association, whatever it's called, that meets every quarter, possibly. I've had some contact with them.
I didn't realize we were getting these.
No, we aren't getting any contact from anybody else. And I assume he's getting it because he's on their list. If not, well,
Oh, if he's not getting it, don't assume he is.
okay,
But certainly I like that we be able to get them.
yeah, to know, or when other towns ask, what are you doing with this type of
Sure.
property here in town, or doing with liens or whatever? Okay,
I wonder if that Franklin County Assessors Association still exists, because I can't find one. I can find the Massachusetts Association of Assessing Officers, but
well, you gotta look
not
at,
one for Franklin County.
I focus on the person's Jackie Boyden and who's out of Everett, I mean, Warwick, Wendell. And there's another person, Shelburne Falls, the people that are involved in that organization. I used to have their emails and they would, I don't know how formal it is an organization, but
Oh,
it meets periodically. We have these what we call roundtable discussions. Or just meet formally and talk about different things, the way towns are doing things.
I think what you're saying, Fred, is if emails are getting to Fred that we should see, Fred, sorry, to Derek that we should see, well, let's see them.
yeah, I think it's, if the material, anything about the board or about assessing in general,
Let's see them.
there's no harm for Derek to forward them to you.
No
But
violation.
if it's clearly, well, not even just a violation, but like. He could forward something to you and maybe it's junk, but all you do is just delete it.
But yeah,
I would say the only emails that he doesn't have to forward are things that he's getting that are specifically about something that he is being told that he has to do.
Right,
Or being
right,
asked a specific question, in those instances, he doesn't. But yeah, I think it's hard to go and say. You can give it, I would definitely recommend giving examples, but, it shouldn't be a hard and fast list, because then he could say, oh, well, you didn't tell me about that one. So it's just like
Pertain to us.
anything that has to do with assessing in general.
Yeah, that's it. Can I drop back just for 1 second? If I could just drop back to number 4, and you had meant, we need that, the maps and everything put in the documents and maintenance put in order. I agree with that, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is absolutely priority, 1 is we'll get to it when we get to it. Wondering if as we move forward, we put a priority on certain things. Yes, I like, let's just tell them, yes, we would like that, but is that a make or break priority right now? Is it, well, let me ask you this, is this where the taxpayer can come in and look, is that what this is
Yeah.
for? Okay, that's a priority, okay,
yeah, but come in,
Very good.
anybody in the office here can go in there
Okay.
and look and see if somebody comes in, asks a request.
that's good,
Other property or neighbors or anybody.
I'm with you, I just want to clarify.
Well, you could say the same with email requests. I mean, how high priority is
They
that?
may be very high.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm good with that category.
okay, inspection program.
Yeah.
Okay, we, I guess waiting to hear from them on the inspection program and I guess. Property inspections and I guess I hear you, Peter, saying that we should not be routinely going on all of these. And leave it up to them. Okay, I guess we can.
And now that it's recorded, I hopefully won't repeat myself again, because I've had this conversation with you multiple times. You've hired a service. Don't go and waste your time.
Okay, okay, we will. Live with
You
that.
guys, look, you
I'm
get,
trying
you
to
do
live with
enough, like, don't. Let the money and let the service actually.
Yeah,
play
delegate.
out.
Okay. Okay, so, and on that note, we're still. Waiting on, I guess, how they're gonna do the inspection program.
Well, it's the 10-year list that's
Can
coming.
you list
Yeah.
the,
That seems.
I guess-
important.
more for information, not to say it's good or bad or do it this way, I guess. Just we'd like to know,
Where are we on the 10-year list?
where are we, what are you doing? So,
So did they say when they're gonna come back to you with what that. Program's gonna look like, and when they're gonna start it?
No. They have.
So I don't think it hurts for the board to say, we want an update on
The 10-year.
that program
they've had,
at the February, what? I forget what meeting, 26th.
I say, yeah, well, I don't know if we've asked for that in the past.
Well, we have,
We have, but.
we have, they said they were gonna go through the whole town once, they said they're gonna go at all 500 properties, so we have asked for it. It is in their contract, that is the one area I'd like to address. That's a revenue issue, there be it perhaps lost revenue issue. And being fair to the whole town, that everyone is being spending somewhat regularly.
It comes down to what things do we. Ask them to do, request do we have to do, say for the next meeting or two. Realizing that their. Schedule and their, I guess, staffing, not that it's our problem with the staffing, but. But realizing what they're going through. And how much of this do we really want to push them on?
I think that's where Mike was actually trying to get you to, is to look at where are the priorities. You
Priorities,
set the priority of, it is very important that the board wants this inspection program outlined.
yeah,
That's the highest priority. The files are a nice to have, it's the lowest priority.
Yeah.
Prioritize your requests so that they know. Because they can be adults if they're told, this is what the most important thing is, we're gonna need to focus on this.
In particular, it's in the contract, it's very specific.
Oh, yeah, I'm not questioning whether it's, I'm just saying to his point, like, how. How do you determine, or how does RG know what to work on if they've got so much that you're asking them and they have limited time?
But we've
Set
never
a
given a
priority.
priority list, that's a good point.
well, we should look at that for our next meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
So an agenda item for the next meeting also is to prioritize our list.
Yes,
prioritize our request, yes.
Yeah, finalize your request list and then
Yeah.
prioritize them, yeah.
We don't wanna give them an encyclopedia, very
and I guess
precise request.
one thing that I guess we go back and forth on is how to communicate with them in writing or in meetings, and I guess we've been doing both, and lately it's. I guess the response is put it in writing if you want us to do something.
Erica said that more than once.
Yeah, more than
Yeah.
once, and I guess we can do that, and. Should that come in an email from me as board chair, or should that come at approval at a meeting, at a public meeting? How should we be communicating our request? Cause I'm hearing both sides saying, well, if you do it for the chair, well, that's what Fred wants, and if you do it from in a public meeting, well, that's what the board wants.
I would be the go-between.
I don't know.
I would be the go-between.
And it's easy. You determine at the meeting what your requests are.
Yeah,
And then one of you just documents it and sends it based on what you agreed at the meeting. That's all it is. It's the same thing as minute taking.
yeah,
Or, like I do a report to all staff after every select board meeting. And I write out, even though they could watch the video or just because it was discussed, I still write it out as a way to like, memorialize the key items.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you would be doing,
Yeah.
whoever decides that they're gonna do it. You're just outlining, these are the requests that we had at the meeting. And you, by doing that, you're putting it in writing for them so that it's down.
But we have to start,
okay,
let me rephrase that. They are our partners. Let's work towards that goal,
Yeah,
basically. I'm not sure we work towards that goal.
do we know any more of their staffing other than what you sending us the last email, that's all we.
that's
Sure.
the last email that I have from David, is that Elijah is starting
We have nothing from
next
Derek,
week.
nothing has come out of Derek to say. Who it is and how he's gonna work it or how long or.
Yeah, I mean, don't expect it to come from Derek. Derek is not the supervisor. Derek is the person being replaced, right? So I've tried to get the information from David. All that I've gotten is that Derek will cross-train, but I don't know how long that would be or how that's gonna be done. But again, I'm not worried. I'm not gonna micromanage it. I just wanted to understand, when does she start and will Derek be training? And when does she start is, I believe it's next week. Now, based on his previous email. And then he would be training her.
Is it fair for us to ask who will be her support person at RRG?
Probably Dave.
Or is that micromanaging?
Well, I guess I would ask why. Why is it necessary? They have all of our RG's resources.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would think that's not a point, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, it's just like with Derek, we knew David Burgess was his support person. But he had somebody that he could easily go to ask questions.
I don't think you should be going down that route. Your person is the person that they provide you as your assistant assessor.
Okay.
And then they use RRG as they need for whatever support they need.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because we can't dictate any of that. So really, knowing it doesn't really help us, does it?
I just really concerned with.
What are the reasons with, or,
Again,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, the contract doesn't say that they would do that, so we just have to. Oh,
Work within the contract.
exactly. The contract says they're gonna provide services. They just don't say that you're gonna have somebody on hand and you're gonna have a backup person. Doesn't say that. It's just the practice.
one of the conflicts that we get into is they say they're here the 8 hours a day and don't have time to answer some of our requests. And the contract says that they will do more than just 8 hours a day in the office. How do we resolve that with them? I don't see that going anywhere. I just see that the response is 8 hours. If I don't get it done, well, I'll wait till next week when I come in. In the meantime, the stuff we request is sitting over there. And we bring it up again at a meeting in 4 weeks or whatever and say, well, did you do this? Well, no, because I was doing all these other things for the 8 hours I was here this week.
I think that's true of whether you have an outside service or you have an employee, when they are restricted to time because of the amount of.
Right.
You're paying them hourly and you only have a set amount of
Right.
hours. If they don't have enough time, then the things don't get done, and that's why you prioritize, so that they focus on the things that you want done.
But even coming up with a prioritized list, and we've, in a past, kind of, we haven't thrown everything at them. We come up with a few things now and then that we wanted and we just don't see much happening because of that reasoning.
That, and that may well be, but let's also look at the fact that the issue may be that the staff that they've had weren't assessors. They didn't have background in assessing, therefore their filling of the task takes them longer.
Right, but again, and now repeating myself, how do we deal as a board, how do we deal with that? We just let them say, okay, well, I don't have any more time, 8 hours, that's it, so that never gets done?
Well,
What in particular doesn't get done?
I mean, where's the,
I guess what I would suggest is when we run into these issues, and let's stop going backwards and stop looking backwards. We're gonna be getting Elijah. We don't know, Elijah might be more speedy. So let's not worry, let's not assume that because previous have happened. Let's just say going forward, if that happens again. You communicate with me and you let me know, hey, we're having an issue again where the 3 things that we need done aren't getting done because the staff member that we have is completing it, and then I'll engage with RRG and find out how they can help to rectify the service.
well, we have that one, the big issue that we're having now, at least in my mind, is the land values. And we've asked last year and we've asked once or twice already this meeting, and it's getting the same standard answer. And I don't see that changing, I guess, because, well, for one, the people, I think that were responsible for doing that, not that you should pick people RG, but the ones that were responsible are no longer there, so I guess that's gonna be their answer. Well, I'm speculating. You know, that person's gone, so I don't know how we did it.
So. There's an item for your priority list, right? The land values.
Right,
Make sure that's on your list. Okay,
you know,
put together that list. This list that we've been talking about is going to be important. Prioritize that list. And then let's use that going forward so that I can work with RRG when it's not happening.
okay,
Okay,
okay. That's our major concern right now about everything.
so that's your top priority then.
Top priority, yeah.
Yeah,
Right now, we can.
I feel like that and the abatement
Well,
reporting are your
right.
2 top priorities.
The other stuff, I guess, can come and go.
Yeah, I think worrying about the printing of the owner's listing is inconsequential.
Yeah, right.
Organizing the maps is inconsequential. Those feel like they're nitpicking. I get that you want them done, but I think you have much bigger fish to fry. So let's really focus on but still, put it in your list, put it in the list, but you know, prioritize it.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. That's what you did.
Yeah.
What else did you want to share with us before we were gonna talk about certain one property owner here, property name?
So the only other thing is I've individually spoken with each of you about possibly looking at, shifting back to a staff member. I have drafted a job description. I gave it to you, right? The board is welcome to review it. The job description that I put together, looks at the common job responsibilities of an assistant assessor in Massachusetts, not specific to here. So there might be things outlined in there that we don't do. Fred brought up a couple of them, and while those type of applications may not come in today, they may be things that happen in the future, so it doesn't hurt you to include them. But I would suggest, reviewing that job description. If you have any feedback as a board, certainly let me know. If you're not gonna review it now, that's completely fine, you're probably not. But if you wanna review it at the next meeting, I can send it the draft to all 3 of you so that you each have it.
Probably what you sent, is that, I could send that.
Yeah, if you wanna share it with
That'd
me,
be
yeah.
Okay, I'll share that.
Yeah, that'd be
So is
good.
that something that we can discuss at a meeting that, okay,
It's a job description, so yeah, you're not talking about an individual.
okay, and we're not talking about a future. I mean,
You're talking about a future.
okay, but I mean, is that okay for the public to know that that's something that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
exploring? Okay, no, I
Oh,
just.
no, I brought it up at the select.
Okay.
So
Yes, so it's-
From
some
Yeah.
information is need to know or not need to know, so I just.
Yeah, I mean, that's the function of a public agency, right? So we're always going to have to publicly discuss how we're restructuring any department.
Okay.
Whether it's the Board of Assessors shifting, or if we're talking about regionalizing a fire department, things like that, they have to be discussed publicly, we're required to. So, no, I
Well,
don't
there's,
think there's any harm in you
Okay.
talking about it.
You see where I'm coming from, though.
I do,
Okay.
but it could be positive.
because it was a select board.
I'm happy to hear that, we would have a,
Yeah.
status for. What was your question?
Select board positive on that, whether.
Yes,
Do you have any kind of schedule when this would happen, any idea, looking?
well,
Fiscal year or what, soon or? After?
I don't have that detail yet, because we have to work out the intermunicipal agreement between the towns. Come to that agreement, and then we'd have to work it into our budgets, hopefully we can work it in for the FY 27 budget, or we do a mid-year adjustment. After the budget if we have to.
Okay. And how is this gonna impact our relationship with RRG?
I have no idea. It could not, I don't know.
Have you discussed this with them,
No.
anybody there at all?
Oh, no, no.
Okay. And if they ask, if Derek asks or anybody say, why are you doing this? Or I thought we had another year left, what are you doing?
No,
And there's nothing saying that we're not going to let that year continue on.
Continue on, right,
There's nothing saying that we're not.
okay,
That's why I'm not engaging in RG, because I'm not saying that we're going to cancel the contract.
Right.
I'm just getting us prepared
right.
so that we can
Proper
do whatever
planning.
we need to do, yes.
Well, if this was to happen, it would be the summer months or beginning fiscal year would be.
Well, that's one option, is to do it this summer or get it prepared so that we do it for next summer.
Right.
Whatever works out, but yeah, I just wanna make sure that we're ready and if we have everything, that we have the agreements in hand with the other town. That we have a description, that we know how we're going to market that position. If you have agencies or associations, like we'll make sure to list with that Mass Association of Assessing Assessors.
it should not affect our RG's forward plans whatsoever.
They're a service provider, so the contract, they have only the outlook of the contract term and not beyond the contract. Sure, they would want to do additional contracts after that, but there's never a guarantee.
This is true.
Okay. We schedule our board meetings the day Derek is here, and then at the last hour, I guess, part of his 8 hours, should we avoid his working time 8 hours? What do you thought? Do it after his 8 hours or during?
I don't understand.
Well, he's here 8 to 4 on Thursdays.
Uh-huh,
We have our meetings usually at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5.
To accommodate there.
To accommodate Derek.
Yeah.
That's taking 1 hour of his 8-hour day out of productivity for him.
yeah,
Because he's here with the board.
Or could be adding another hour to his day.
And should we avoid doing our meetings during his time period here, during his 8 hours?
guess I'm confused by the question. Would you still want him attending?
Well, I guess, yeah,
So attending in addition to the 8 hours?
right,
Cause that's what Steven did, correct?
right, and I think the contract kind of loosely says that, it says 8 hours, well, then it gets into other conditions of attending board meetings and all, but it doesn't say what format for when board meetings should be, but
I would bet that 8 hours includes board meetings. And I'm sure that the contract is not specific on that.
but I think the one he does at Conway, it's at 5 o'clock, 5, I don't know his hours, he's there that day, I don't know, but
That's just I haven't looked at it myself. I'm okay with the status quo.
Yeah, I guess, why would you wanna change it?
I know, so we don't disturb his 8-hour day,
Oh,
or disrupt his 8-hour day.
So we're taking an hour every week from his productivity.
Yeah, well,
Every time we have a meeting, yeah. it doesn't seem to be an issue for me, but. It was an issue when he said he couldn't even do the minutes one year, because one week
We
was
did,
so
yeah.
busy, yeah.
And we were down to one meeting a month now, it was twice a month through a meeting.
This board member doesn't see a problem with it, but. I would review the contract before I make any
So like
decision.
you say, it's not that specific, attending board meetings, when I would have been doing it.
Well, is there a ton of things he can't get done because he's spending him at 1 hour with us?
Well, that's still one hour.
I guess well, I'm neutral on this.
I don't think other contracts he has, I saw the Conway one a while ago, specifically says. Even the inspections, you know, he's supposed to be doing inspections for building permits and sales. Deed transfers, and I guess I hear now it's during his 8-hour period, he's gonna be doing that. Is that,
It's probably something we should address, Fred.
So I think, back to the question of the 8 hours and attending the meetings is in addition to the 8 hours. The
okay,
reason why I'm saying that is because point G goes into what the 8 hours is and
Yes.
then kind of gives like examples of what's included during that 8-hour period. But then point M says attend the Board of Assessor meeting, it is separate from
separate from
the
that,
8-hour period, so you
Okay,
can
we got a point.
have the meeting outside of his 8-hour
We got a point
period.
there.
okay.
I missed
Okay, but
your other
looking
question.
under paragraph G, it talks about, and there are certain inspections he's supposed to be doing. But then you go into M where the following page is a 10-year cyclical, whatever he's supposed to address somewhere in there, and it doesn't say is that during his 8 hours or not.
Sorry, what is the thing that you are?
Inspections.
Inspections?
Are they part of the 8 hours or in addition to?
Yeah,
That's your question.
It looked like it was in the 8-hour period.
well, certain ones, I guess, building permits, deed transfers, sales. Them are kind of I guess, required ones.
Oh, I see what you mean. Conduct inspections of all properties for which the town's building department has issued building
Yeah.
permits.
Yeah.
It is separate from the 8-hour period, so it would seem that it is a separate task outside of that 8-hour office period.
Okay. But he's interpreting that as during his 8 hours now, so
Okay,
So
how do we do anything with that to say,
I can talk to him.
you know, I could. Speculating, say, well, I'm only here 4 hours because I have to go 4 hours doing inspections, so. And then our request to do stuff. That we want to, it never gets looked at because doesn't have time.
Okay,
I think that I didn't see that part of the contract, Peter, about. So it probably is an addressable issue.
yeah,
Yeah, that I didn't see.
yeah,
Because, and I guess I've heard in the past from some of your staff here. A while ago that. There was a need for more than that. There was a need for somebody here, an assessor position, office to answer questions. Your staff was getting overburdened and didn't know the answers.
correct.
So there was a need to do that, but. I don't know if the need was more than 8 hours also. There's more need for that.
Well, I think that's why the contract was written either 1 8-hour day or 2 4-hour days.
Right,
Essentially ensuring that residents have the ability
Right.
to speak with somebody because they're here in body
right,
on site.
right,
Because the problem that we were having was we would say when the assessing office is open and then they wouldn't be here because they'd be out on inspections instead. And
Right.
so residents would come in with that expectation and then they're not even here.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm thinking that it helps that that inspection item is separate from in the list, it's separate from the 8-hour period, so they
Right.
shouldn't be doing it during the 8-hour period.
Right.
But I hear you, And so rather than beating the dead horse, I'm going to speak with Derek about, she is inclusive of only these items, all
Right.
the other items are outside of your 8-hour period.
Right. Okay,
Good point, Fred.
and they've been doing some of that outside the 8 hours, well. I have another staff here with David Burgess and there's another Linda, Bevins,
Mhm.
whatever would come in and do some stuff, so they are doing some of that. In office stuff for beyond 8 hours, but as far as going out in the field. No, that hasn't been happening, so.
Okay. Good with me.
Okay.
I think, Peter has been kind with his time here. Thank you,
Yeah.
Peter.
Just a procedural thing, if when you end the open meeting, I would suggest just stopping the recording. But then when you open executive session, record again, start the recording again, that way you have a sort of transcription of notes as a backup. Do you know what I mean?
We've never recorded executive session.
Do you wanna close your public meeting and open your executive session and then do this?
Yes.
Okay. I'll show you.
Okay, anything else? Public meeting, any other comments right now?
No,
Okay, motion to adjourn,
I,
aye.
You have to state during, in the open meeting, the reason why you're gonna go into executive session.
Go
It's on
into
the agenda.
Session to look at real estate property abatement. Requests, under the provisions of Mass General Law. Chapter 59, section 60. All those in favor?
chapter is
Aye. Aye, okay.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hit the record button and say stop recording.
Okay.
So the meeting's not stopping, it's just gonna stop the recording.